Hey, what's going on, guys? Jason Scully here from the Grappler's Guide. I'm here with Joe. He's going to help me with the video today. In this video, I want to talk about some positional tips of the deep half guard position, so in that way you can make this position and this game better for you for when you're going for your attacks. And it's also good to know, just in case the other person's playing deep half guard on you as well, so you can look out for things that they're trying to do to you. So basically, I'm going to get into the deep half guard just in a general way. I'm going to have entries in the future on the Grappler's Guide. So when I get into the deep half guard here, ideally, I want my body underneath his whole leg here. I do not want my body all the way up here, like this, okay? The reason I don't want my body all the way here like this is because he's heavier. It's harder for me to move him around. But when I am lower on his leg, I don't feel any of his weight on me, and it's also easier for me to move my body, and I have a little bit more mobility. So remember, when I'm up here like this, it's almost like I'm stuck, especially if it decides to hook underneath my leg with his arm here and start doing this stuff. It becomes much harder. I feel pressure on the back of my neck. I feel pressure on the back of my shoulder. I feel pressure on this shoulder, on the inside shoulder as well too. But when I'm here like this, I don't feel any of this pressure. There's nothing stuck here. The other thing is I want my head on the inside, on the front of him. I don't want it underneath his leg. I don't want it on the outside here. This very rarely happens, but sometimes it does. I may pop my head out of the back when I'm going for certain movements, but ideally, I want to start like this. The other thing is usually I want control of his thigh, and I want my elbows in close. I don't want my elbows loose, because then he can get an underhook on me and he can start working my elbows up and start working defenses and attacks on me as well. So I want here like this. You know, in the beginning I'll hold his leg tight, but as I'm moving I might loosen up, so then that way it can help me kind of wrap around his leg and do different things also. The next thing is with my legs. I don't want my legs open like this, because then he can just kick his foot back and then basically take it out and start working certain things. He's actually almost ends up in a crucifix as well, and I don't want that to happen. So I always want to make sure I'm at least hovering my legs over his leg, because when he goes to curl his foot out, it becomes harder for him to curl his foot out. Another thing is, if I'm putting some pressure down onto close to the top of his knee, what it does is it starts almost like straightening his leg out, because it puts pressure down, which makes him lots of times want to straighten his leg, because it makes it more comfortable for him. If I'm up higher to the thigh, he has the ability to bend his knee even more. So when I'm putting this pressure down, when he goes to bend his knee, it becomes a little bit harder. It's almost like I'm putting pressure downward and I'm turning his leg in. So I'm taking my backhand, which is on top, and I'm putting my forearm on top of his knee, like right on the top. I'm clamping my hands together, I push down, and I turn his knee a little bit to the right. Or we'll say a little bit towards his back, because it depends on what leg you have here. So I'm here like this, and I'm pushing this direction, because now when he goes to turn his leg and do other things, it makes it harder for him. The other thing is, most of the time, I want to be kind of tilted a little bit away from him from the start. It helps me get started for different positions, different attacks, and different movements. Lots of times I will be flat on my back, but it's not the ideal situation. I'm turning just a little bit away from him here. This is one of the moments where it's okay to start turning away from your opponent on the bottom. Like if you're caught in side control, you wouldn't want to do that. So I'm here, I have this position. Some other options is I can start working my feet underneath his ankle. This gives me different options as well. My front leg can come underneath his ankle. If I have trouble getting my foot underneath, like right now, I might have trouble curling it underneath, I'll hip out like this, and then I'll get my foot under, and then I come back. Now my back leg is hovering over his ankle. I still want to get this control, because I want to make it harder for him to pull his ankle out. If he tries to pull his body out this way, here it becomes harder for him to do this. So, and also the front leg, the inside leg, gives me an opportunity to start kicking him this direction. I can also do it with the back leg as well. So same kind of concept. If I want to get this foot behind, let's say I'm having trouble, I can hip out a little bit and then get my foot. Notice what I'm doing with this leg is I'm kind of popping his leg up a little bit. So I'm here like this. If I keep it curled in, I'm still might not be able to get it. By going like this, 1, 2, now I can get it. So it's almost like I'm straightening and coming through. But I want to do this quickly because I don't want him to curl his leg out. And then I hover again and I get this pressure so in that way I can control his leg. And then once again his leg is stuck even more. Another way for me to get my ankles underneath is I can actually like literally just lift his leg up. So I just take my hand here, I bring it on the top, I take my thumb, put it on the inside, and I just do a quick lift. It's almost like a little pop. So right now I'm hovering over, I have my ankles crossed, and I just push up and I pop. It doesn't matter which leg. It's actually a good drill to do, just so you can practice getting the position from there. So these are some main tips in regards to the deep half guard. Make sure you keep your head inside, and you also want to kind of keep a loose movement. This is a good drill to do as well. Just kind of being used to moving on the bottom here, so in that way you can work to either get on the top this way, work to get your head out the back this direction as well too. If he tries to start coming up and getting my body like this, what I'll do is I'll kind of put my hands inside here as well. I may be exposing myself for a possible underhook, but I don't want him to get this position. The other thing I'll do is I'll put pressure onto the top of his knee. So basically, I go underneath his knee, closer to the shin. So now when he goes to pull up, it becomes harder for him to come up here. If I'm above his knee, it's easier for him to do this here. But when I'm below his knee, like this, and I'm pushing in, now when he goes to bring my shoulder underneath his midsection, it becomes harder for him to do this. So that's a good little tip to make it hard for him to get his body up close to my shoulder. So those are a lot of different tips in regards to the deep half guard. If I remember any more, I think that's pretty much all the ones that I have so far. But if I missed anything, then I'll add them onto the Grappler's Guide with another video, or I'll just add it to this video and I'll just update it from there. So if you're someone who plays deep half guard, or you're someone who's interested in playing deep half guard, really pay attention to this video because it'll help you a lot in regards to your position. And then even if you don't really know much, you can have the opportunity to experiment right away just from having a better understanding of the deep half guard. All right, thanks. Peace.